You just yawned. Or you're about to. Just reading that word is enough. Your jaw drops, your eyes water, your lungs fill with a long, slow breath you didn't ask for. And then it's over. You shake your head, maybe laugh a little, and move on with your day. But that reflex you just had? Science has been trying to explain it for over 2,000 years, and the real answer is far stranger than anyone expected. You've been told yawning means you're tired, or bored, or low on oxygen. Those explanations feel right. They match the moments when it happens. But here's what's strange. None of them hold up under scrutiny. Not one. And what scientists have discovered instead reveals something fundamental about the kind of creature you actually are. Let's start with what a yawn actually is. Your mouth opens wide, wider than almost any other facial expression you make. Your eardrums stretch. A long, slow inhale fills your chest, and then a shorter exhale empties it. The whole thing lasts about 6 seconds, and it is completely involuntary. You cannot stop a yawn in progress. You can suppress it briefly, but the pressure builds until your body wins. Something inside you is issuing a command, and you follow it. The oldest explanation came from the ancient Greeks. Hippocrates believed yawning released bad air from the body, especially during a fever. It was, in his view, a kind of biological exhaust valve. For centuries, that idea stuck. Then came the oxygen theory. The idea was simple. Your body needs more oxygen, so it opens wide to gulp some in. It made intuitive sense. It fit the feeling of waking up or sitting through a long afternoon meeting. But in 1987, a psychologist named Robert Provine decided to actually test it. He had subjects breathe air with elevated carbon dioxide levels, reduced oxygen levels, or pure oxygen. None of it changed how often they yawned. Not even slightly. The oxygen theory collapsed, and with it, most of what people thought they knew about yawning. Provine's work set off a quiet revolution in yawning research. Scientists began looking at when yawning happened, not just why, and a clear pattern emerged. Yawning spiked not during boring moments, but during transitional ones. The moments between sleep and waking, between rest and action, between low alertness and high alertness, between one state of being and another. This was the clue that cracked it open. In 2007, Andrew Gallup, a researcher at the State University of New York, proposed what is now the leading scientific theory of yawning, the brain cooling hypothesis. The idea is precise and strange. Your brain runs hot. It generates enormous heat relative to its size, and that heat has to go somewhere. A brain that overheats loses precision, reactions slow, cognition blurs, and so your body evolved a rapid cooling mechanism. A yawn stretches the jaw, increases blood flow, and pulls cooler outside air across the sinuses and the blood vessels near the brain's surface. 6 seconds. Temperature drops. The brain sharpens. Gallup tested this by warming subjects' foreheads before having them watch videos of other people yawning. Yawning rates dropped dramatically. He placed cool packs on foreheads. Yawning nearly stopped. Then he introduced warm packs. Yawning surged. The data was clear. Your yawn is a cooling system, a biological radiator, a 6-second reset built into your skull. Think about that for a moment. Every time you yawn, every groggy morning, every dull afternoon, every late night where your body refuses to give up, your brain is performing a targeted thermal regulation event. Not asking for more air, not declaring boredom, cooling itself, sharpening itself for what comes next. Now here's where it gets even stranger. Yawning is contagious, not just in humans. Chimpanzees, bonobos, dogs, wolves, and parakeets have all been shown to catch yawns from others of their species. And in humans, the contagion is deeply tied to something remarkable: empathy. In study after study, people with higher scores on empathy scales catch yawns more easily. Children with autism, who often struggle with reading social cues and emotional mirroring, show dramatically reduced contagious yawning. Psychopaths, who score low on empathy measures, are significantly less susceptible to catching a yawn. The link is that consistent. Ivan Norscia and Elisabetta Palagi at the University of Pisa tracked spontaneous yawning in humans in natural social settings. Their results showed that people were most likely to catch a yawn from someone they were emotionally close to. Partners, family members, close friends, strangers barely triggered it at all. Your yawn, it turns out, is partly a social signal, a form of unconscious synchronization, a way of saying, without words, that you are attuned to the person beside you. This means yawning sits at the intersection of two of the most powerful systems in the human brain: thermal regulation and social bonding. Your brain cools itself, and it synchronizes that cooling with the brains of the people you love. That is not a minor quirk. That is something ancient. Think about your ancestors, thousands of years ago, waking in a cave as the fire burned low. Their brains cooling, their bodies preparing to move, and the yawn spreading through the group. Not by accident, but as a signal, a synchronized shift in alertness. Everyone in the group moving into the next state together, waking together, preparing together, hunting together, sleeping together. The contagious yawn may have been a mechanism for behavioral synchrony, a way of tuning a group's alertness to the same frequency. Your nervous system still carries that code. When someone near you yawns and you feel the urge rise in your jaw, that is not weakness. That is not distraction. That is 200,000 years of social evolution quietly running in the background of your skull. There is one more layer to this. Yawns appear to be especially contagious from people whose faces you see often. A 2011 study by Norscia and Palagi found that the contagious effect was strongest with kin, then friends, then acquaintances, then strangers. The pattern mirrors the structure of human attachment itself. The closer the bond, the more your body wants to synchronize. And yawning is one of the earliest and most automatic forms that synchrony takes. Even reading about yawning triggers it. You have probably yawned at least once since you started watching this video. And now that you know why, the experience is different. That reflex is your brain doing precision work, cooling, preparing, and reaching out, invisibly, toward the people around you. The next time it happens, in a quiet room or a crowded car or a dark bedroom right before sleep, you are not displaying weakness. You are not succumbing to boredom. You are running a program that kept your ancestors synchronized, alert, and alive. A 6-second signal. Older than language, older than fire. And right now, without thinking about it, your body just ran it again.